So right now we're going to talk about interval notation. Interval notation is a shorthand way to write inequalities. So what you want to remember is when you are actually writing interval notation, so when it's graphed and when it's written, if there is a hole on the graph, it's going to be written as if there's a hole on the graph and it's written as a less than or greater than, so there's no equal to, the interval is going to have a parentheses. If there is a dot on the graph and it's written as less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, there's going to be a bracket. Infinity, since you never get there, is always written with the parentheses. So, right now, the example that I'm going to give you, well, we'll do a few. If I have x is greater than 6, how would I graph it? To graph it on a numbered line, let's say this is 6, I would put a hole in the graph and then go all the way up until infinity. How would I write the interval? I would write it as parentheses. It starts at 6, comma, it goes into until infinity, and we always put parentheses with infinity because it never gets there. Let's say another example we have is x is greater than or equal to -1 or less than 2. To graph this, here's -1, here's 2. Since it's less than or equal to, we put a dot here. Since it's just less than, we put, or I'm sorry, this is greater than or equal to, we put a dot. For less than, x is less than 2, we put a circle. And we want everything in between, so we've shaded in between. How do we write that? We write a bracket because it's filled in. -1, comma, to 2, goes all the way to 2, and we put a parentheses. What are we doing? We're writing an interval for where the shaded area is. We'll do one more example. Let's say we have x is less than 2, and we're going to use a union here. X is greater than 3 and less than or equal to 5. So on our graph, we're going to mark 2, 3, and 5. On 2, what kind of circle are we going to have? Open or closed? Since it's this sign, open or closed? Open, excellent. On 3, is it going to be open or closed? Open. And on 5, is it going to be open or closed? Closed. Now we're going to fill in the appropriate spots. So x is less than 2, so we shade in everything that's below 2. And x is greater than 3 and less than 5, so that's in between 3 and 5. To write this in interval notation, we would put a parentheses, and it goes all the way down to -infinity, so we'd write in -infinity, comma 2. What kind of thing on 2? Parentheses or bracket? Parentheses, good, because parentheses goes with open. And then we're going to use a union, so we say and, we need to go from parentheses or bracket, parentheses on 3, comma, to 5, bracket. And that's it.